I didn't go public with my diagnosis for the woe me. I went public because I wanted people to hear somebody like myself who was speaking on advocacy authentically based upon my situation. Welcome to season 3, episode 22, part 4 of the Can't Be Uncensored podcast with my dear friend Marie Zelenka as we wrap up our conversation about surviving ovarian cancer and my what the fuck wake up moments, the importance of removing all toxic elements in one's life, and how Marie's curiosity around did I experience fear led us to talk about many unexpected things. So pull up that chair, lean in, grab that coffee and cannoli, because here we go. I'd like to think that this accumulation of living my life up till now has proven to, I make a good teacher. And I'd like to think that I hope I'm an inspiration. And I just hope that, I get to experience the things that I was afraid of living into, that I didn't know how I could. Being a pure artist, I didn't want to starve. So I took a road this way. Right. And from that, ended up in these environments, good, bad, and otherwise. Some were really great, others really fucking abusive.
Yeah.
That have created the barnacles on the vessel. That some I want to shake up, get the fuck off of me.
Yep.
Others I want to go, oh, I want to sail with you on the 7 seas.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that that's life. I don't think I'm any different. I think that that's just my way of sharing and being aware and being relatable. And therefore, I'd like to, my goal is to formulate something that's really true to myself, but that can help others in the process. And that is something that I've been trying to figure out all my life. How do I take all the things that I love and make an impact, a lingering impact? And that's always been really important to me, and I don't know why, and I don't know what that means, and I don't know that I know what it looks like even yet. I'm getting ideas. And I think that, doing the podcast has been one of those really great places for me to sit down with others and tap into all that curiousness that I've always had all my life. And I do think that because I'm a lover of life and a lot of things, there's not a whole lot that I don't find interesting to discuss. Do I want it to be where I'm the subject matter of cancer? No. But if I'm meant to be that for now and have a really authentic conversation on things that are layered around that, like, receiving rose petals or or speaking to my dear friend, from the Netherlands and having a real honest, authentic conversation.
And who knows what and what came out, well, who knows, but what came out of our last conversation where you peeled off another layer and there's many more layers to come. I'm sure as you sort of come off of this high of, I just had cancer and chemo, yeah, and let the if there's a lesson to be learned, let it be that the most important thing is you and how you want to spend your life and not in accordance with or according to anything or anybody, any social or any social rules or whatever the fuck we've come up with in life that makes it, if you really want to live according to all that, it makes it unbearable.
It really does. And look at, we both know that, social media has a lot to do with that. And I do believe there's a lot of positive things about social media as for instance, of one of the vehicles that we're doing the living up to. And
Yeah, but
before social media,
it's
there was,
another big brother watching over us. Like, are you really doing the correct thing? Because they will jump on your ass if you don't. And so is it really authentic? All this social media, or are you just portraying something that you think the world wants to see in a lot of
I
instances?
completely agree with you. You get no argument from me there. I do think though, above and I think all of that. But I also have seen some very positive things for myself
Sure.
that I never in a million years, 3 years of doing it messy, would I have seen some of the very rooted benefits of people I've connected with that I would never have connected with had
Yeah.
I not 3 years ago with the pandemic found myself launching a brand online and then connecting with people randomly who I'd never connected with prior. And
Mhm.
from that, depending upon the individuals, expanded on those relationships. And some today include my producers and who produce my podcast
Mhm.
and the team that I train with. And there's others from there. And part of this community that grew in the last few years and have been a part of, outside of all the people that I grew up with around the country and who live around the world, depending upon where they are, who I have been supported by, but not intentionally. Like I didn't, for instance, this, I didn't go public with my diagnosis for the woe me. I went public because I wanted people to hear somebody like myself who was speaking on advocacy authentically based upon my situation.
Well, on
And
a very important subject that many, like you said too, many women go to the pharmacy and buy some pads and like, oh well,
Mhm.
it's a little bit of whatever. I'm leaking something.
Yeah, but
And
that's
so
where
it's a
social
very
media,
important subject matter, I would have to say.
yeah, and that's where using that platform, good, bad, or otherwise,
Yeah.
I'd like to think for myself, only in my moment can I speak for myself, that I was doing something was authentic, wasn't about how I looked or saw or was seen or heard, didn't give a flying fuck what people thought because I was just wanting to get a message out that was very scary for me to get out for so many reasons,
Mm-hmm.
but knew that if I didn't, that maybe somebody did need to hear it. And that was proven in the end. And if anything, I hope what it did, whether it was that message or the handful of other messages that came after that and have come since, is helps people get out of their own way too. Like I'm working on getting out of my own way. That's one of my big lessons in life, is to give myself permission to be Felicia.
Right.
Felicia's been great since Felicia came onto this planet.
Right. Yeah.
But there's been a lot of moments in life, whether because of other people's actions or because of things that have been said or done where I have pulled back.
Right.
And I don't want to pull
there's a
back
great
anymore.
Cat Cat Stevens. I gotta say, I'm a fan.
I love Cat Stevens' music, and I don't care
I'm
what
a
his beliefs
fan.
are.
He's got some good. He wrote some really nice texts. And one of the lines he has in the song, the father son
Mm-hmm.
song, which is just so dear to me. I'm not a son, but I can so understand what he's saying. Um, uh, and one of the lines is, it goes, I don't know the exactly how it goes, but it has something to do with, from the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. And isn't that the truth? You know, when
Mm-hmm.
you're they're they're egging you on, like, oh look, she's saying mommy, oh look, she's saying daddy. And then you're starting to say all these other things, and then you're starting to speak up. And then you should shut up because the grown-ups are talking, or you should shut up for whatever reason. So yeah, so from the moment we can speak, and we're ordered to listen. Like, but shit, man, I have a lot of good things to say.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, and it's not an ego
And
thing. It's
and
really
then
a
so then you're holding them in. You're forced to hold them in,
yeah.
and you go on from there. And um isn't it the truth? I think when, the situations that we're raised in, we do kind of look for similar situations until we learn the lesson. Like, that may not be the healthiest thing that you're constantly repeating, these similar people in your circle. There's always, that person is always represented, and that person's always represented, and you always pick that one too, just to make it complete. And it's probably on that cellular level, that my
Oh,
peptide,
for
my
sure.
cells are like, we want that peptide. Come on, let's recreate that situation. Let's find those people. Let's do it again and again and again and again and again. And there they will be the people that will tell you to shut up because you're an idiot. And so then you go, and then you move on and on and on and on and on. And until that day comes where you go, fuck this, fuck this shit.
Yeah. Well,
I'm Felicia. I'm gonna do a podcast, and I'm gonna talk, and if you don't like it, don't listen. And if you like it, listen. But maybe if you don't like it, maybe you should listen.
I think you'll like it when you listen.
I
No,
think
there's no question.
you'll hear something that you didn't know.
100, 200%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be like, wait a minute, what did she say? Wait a minute,
Right.
what did they talk about?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I want to, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, I
I
was just
think
thinking
I
about
think,
that. What does that mean? Blah, 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 blah. Yep. Yeah, girl. Friend.
yeah, so that's like definitely been in my consciousness as far back as I can remember,
Yep.
is just how do you show up being your true self, and totally having been adjusting and readjusting and hiding the light and all that stuff. And that's not, like I said, this journey, this conversation this isn't about Felicia and Marie. This is about a human race kind of a statement. And I'm not trying to be that. I'm trying to be just like heal her.
Right.
But
Right.
it really is applicable to all of us. And
And
I have no doubt.
with healing you, you heal those around you and those who love you. And then they will go on and give the gift to the next person, because they're feeling good. They're feeling the vibes. It's just, it's this ongoing movement of positive energy.
Again, one would hope, that's what I hope, excuse me, resonates with people, because, you know, it's the classic when you're trying to do better, be yourself. There's going to be a lot of, oh God, there she fucking goes again. Or seriously, man, she went through cancer. Now she created X, Y, and Z. Like, who does she fucking think she is? Just stop.
Well, fuck you. That's what I would have to say. Fuck you.
Well, I agree with you. I'd be like,
Yeah.
who are you to
There's
tell
no
me
other
what I can
words.
and
There's
cannot
no other
do?
words. Yeah,
Well,
fuck you.
it goes back to who, you know, since I can remember, who is it that said that I could or couldn't do? I'm not over here saying you can or cannot do.
All right.
So who are you to tell me what I can and cannot do, or capable or I'm not capable of doing? It's not my problem that you think I'm too smart, too talented, too able, too whatever. I'm done playing that game.
Yep.
It's not because I think I'm all that on a slice of bread. I'm not the smartest person. I'm not the most talented person. There's a lot of things that are going off in my head. I'm a big idea person. I'm a connector. I love people. I love a lot of things that I think I have a pretty rational mind about. I also love history and I love making people aware of things. I think it's important to be a teacher in a way that makes people think, in an entertaining sort of way that makes people go, wait a minute, let me play that back. What did they say? That's right. That's what we said. That's right. That did happen. Pay attention. We're not alarmists. We're here just having a chat around the campfire. But it's because of these authentic chats that most people aren't taking the time to have that I think are super, super important, that so much organically gets revealed in our moments of like, holy shit moments. And those are the things that I think are really like the carry forward kind of, how do you rock in the water affect people positively? Doing this, having real conversations. And that's just part of, to me, like a bigger picture, you know, because then in turn, it's like, how do you go out and be in the world and be your true self? What does that mean? How do you do it? How do you inspire others doing it? And we're all out there doing it.
Right.
It's all
Yeah.
energy.
Right.
That's metaphysics.
Yeah.
That's cause and effect. That's like how
Oh
I
God,
want to positively
metaphysics.
affect.
Oh God, not. Oh God, you know it's evening here, and I have to go to bed, and I cannot go to bed with metaphysics on my mind because it just sends me. Holy fuck! I love it though. I love it. I love that we're being challenged to create our own awareness and our own reality and our own, yeah, create our own lives, really. You know, it's not up to all the other people in the, you know, in the world out there trying to tell you how to behave as a woman or how to behave as a whatever living being, what you can and
A
cannot do.
cell, a cellular, a collection of
A
cells.
cellular being. Yeah. No, it's up to you. It's up to you yourself. How are you going to do this? How are you going to create this this life that's given you? And yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting older. It gets better when you get older. It just keeps getting better. Just gets
Well,
clearer. The path
yeah.
gets wider and and you can, yeah.
Well, two things I want to add to that. When this leaking started
Yeah.
and this whole series of events occurred over the last 6 months, never in a million years did I think on the other side of that this would be the conversations that we would be having and the awareness and the things that would come up out of it. Ever, never. So that's a big, big, like, wow.
Right? Yeah.
Huge, huge. And you're conversation about cellular, in NET, which is a form of therapy with muscle therapy, I don't know if you ever had any of that work done here in LA, but a lot of my practitioners practice NET. And it would be about going into that cellular space of
What's it
when
called?
that
NET?
NET, I don't remember what the letters stand for, neuro energy there. I don't know. I forget. I really don't. Electric, I don't remember. But it is a way of going in and asking the body when that trauma originated.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go in and clear it through that moment of time. So it could have been conception, preconception, postconception, an incident that occurred. And you go in and through those series of questions, can you cellularly shift the dynamics? And ironically, speaking of metaphysics, what I think is so interesting and what I think is such an important thing for people to think about is that the galaxy is not about getting stuck. The galaxy is about being in constant motion. It's in constant shift. We are, as metaphysical energy, supposed to always be in flow and shift, the ability to. And yes, some of our galaxies are meant to like dance together. Hey, let's go across, go see Jupiter and Pluto while we're, shooting across so whatever. I mean, I'm making this shit up, but I think the more we're aware of that there is something so much greater than us, and I don't know what that's called, but the more we align with that truth, the more we align with that which we are, which is simply energy, and that we, I mean, when we think about like us as babies or, a baby, and you go, God, you just want to keep it in its pure form. And then we fuck it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going
Shut
back
up.
to this, going back to the music, going back to the song, the piece.
Shut up. Yeah. Yeah. Your order to listen. Yeah.
Order to listen.
Yeah.
And so
And listen
hopefully
to
more,
what? To your crap.
sadly true.
Yeah. So a
Because
lot of
imagine
crap.
how many people, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, nothing. I was just repeating a lot of crap.
A lot of crap, a lot of dogma that is learned and relearned and taught and retaught that's probably really unhealthy shit. Maybe not, but a lot of unhealthy shit. That's why we have so much violence and destruction and damage in the world and arrested development and other things. And again, like I said earlier, we need to come back to a place, and it sounds really esoteric and idealistic, but it's the more we all do the work for ourselves, the better in the end we can show up for not only ourselves but others and make a positive impact. And again, I know it's like, yeah, go for it, Felicia, like really, but it's the truth. Like, I think a lot less of us would be sick if we actually got to like be that pure self that we didn't get so damaged by. And I know that you're not going to live in a world that's not full of what we live in, but I'd like to think that we can I think consciousness is a very powerful thing.
We got to start somewhere, and I think we've kicked down some doors that others have pried open for us. And I think we can continue that that service of prying open some more doors that others after us can kick open, and where that's all going to lead, I have no idea. But for right now, this feels good to keep the conscious flow going, be I don't know if you can constantly be aware. I don't think so, because situations happen, people walk into your lives, you're not at your best at that moment, you're not paying enough attention, they get to you and boom, they're in, and then other people, very wise people, will say, well, you need to shut yourself down from you need to shut yourself off from those people. Well, guess what? They were in. They got in unannounced. I wasn't paying attention. Sure, those moments still happen. But I like to think like you now, with your, coming out of your chemo and sitting on the sofa and eating something that is not healthy for you, but you're catching yourself, and that you've met this Felicia before, and you know why that Felicia is here. Deep down inside, nobody needs to tell you this. You already know damn well why she's here and what she's doing here. And it's a great thing. It's a gift. And that's the work that you've been doing. And that's, the work I hope many of us are doing, that we keep recognizing this behavior that we, are apparently are on cellular level. We're addicted to these fucking peptides that flow through our blood system, but we're aware, and that's an amazing thing.
Well, that's it. We do have the tools. I mean, if I looked at it from this perspective of little Felicia has like come a long fucking way. And little
Right.
Felicia had the tools then, even though she was an innocent little 3-year-old, no different than she has the tools now, because she's proven that time and time again. I mean, she doesn't have to prove anything. That's the truth.
You
And
don't have to prove
no,
anything.
no, I just need to show up being me. And I just want to be around, not a cult. I want to be around like-minded people who get that.
Right.
Who support that mindset, who want to raise each other up in a really healthy way. I think that we all can get threatened or fearful or scared or whatever. Right now can be considered a very scary time. Coming out of all this, and Hollywood's going through a writer's strike, and we're literally being told we can't work because all things are shut down. To most of the world, that's meaningless. To most of the world, it's like, oh, whatever, you spoiled rotten, whatever. But the truth is most of us truly work for a living. And so, on top of the fear of what the fuck did one just get through, there's the reality of like, okay, so this is your line of career, from not only ourselves, but for many. And there's another big unknown. I think I mean, honestly, Marie, right now, I feel like I might as well have been I've been in this pandemic for 3 years now.
Right.
I feel like this May 2023 feels no different than May 2020, except a lot of things have happened in those 3 years, and it's not meant to sound heavy or like delude anything we just kind of concluded to. No, it's to say life goes on, and then it's how you, do your best to do your best.
Yeah.
Because life is not seamless. Life is, a series of events.
Yeah.
And it's how you do your best to manage through it. And there's no like simple answer to that, other than to be aware, to be conscious, to talk things out, to have conversations, to be willing to explore and be willing to expand and be willing to recognize and get quiet at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can get reflective and feel your feelings, whatever and however that comes out, as long as it's not harmful to you and others.
Right.
And I was just willing to say, this is how it affected me. But I think it was just the most fascinating, interesting thing that came from our conversation of you're asking about, fear was your big question. And, it probably sounded like I was skirting around it the last time we spoke. I wasn't skirting around it. It was what had not come up for me in the way that it did
Right,
then 48 hours after our conversation.
right, right.
And I guess you can't gauge that shit is the answer to that.
You can't what? You can't?
Can't gauge it when it's going to show up.
No, you don't. No, it's going to show up one way or the other. You wouldn't be human if you didn't. It's like, no, it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm really grateful for this conversation because I think it's a really interesting way of being able to show it authentically also, like in a very innocent way. Like nobody could have predicted this. Our conversation wasn't predictable. Our conversation wasn't, we didn't know. I didn't know what you were going to ask me. I didn't know how that might potentially trigger the next chapter.
right,
And we
right,
wanted to just continue this conversation because the truth is it was a really great informative conversation between two girlfriends that
right,
I think more people need to hear how to be connected with one another. And this is a perfect example of that.
right. Being able to ask questions without, without fear of because it's, when somebody is diagnosed with a life-threatening disease, many people just they'd rather, when they see you, they'd rather walk the other way, like pretend they haven't seen you,
Of course.
than to face you. Because what do you say? Well, what do you say? You just go, what the fuck? What just you just go head on. And if that person wants to talk about it, they will. And if they don't, they don't. And that's it. But yeah, that is another, it's a socially kind of a difficult one for a lot of people to deal with. So it was, I know with you that I can ask you questions, and if I've gone too far, I'm sure you'll tell me, but um, so far so good. And it was great.
Well,
It was great that you opened up, and it was great that you actually, I was kind of joking when I said part 3, and then you said, well, I kind of have this this is kind of like tail end that's kind of happening to me. So it would be great to have another conversation. And
yeah.
yeah, and it is great. And who knows, maybe we'll have I'm sure you and I will have many more conversations. I don't know if you'll be
Oh,
recording them all, but if anything comes up, because this is a journey. And I know a very dear friend of mine had breast cancer and she's 50. She also works in the industry in Hollywood. And um, she had a breast what do they call that when they don't amputate the whole breast, but they like take a part of it? I don't know, there's a word for it. And um
reconstruction.
no, that's what they do afterwards. But when she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and they didn't amputate the breast, but they just took out, I don't know, a chunk.
Okay.
And with the tumor, and she went through chemo and radiation and all that. And God, and I remember when she when she was her hair was starting to grow back, and it was that coming back, like she thought it was white. So she called me and she said, oh my God, I took some henna and I
Oh
and
no.
I dyed
Oh
and I
my
dyed
God,
my
no.
hair, and I looked like, and it was a carrot, and I
Oh
just
my God.
felt I was horrified for her. And I think it was 9:30 at night when she called me in tears. She's like, oh my God, I look like Carrot Top. I don't know what I've done. And I jumped in my car and I found a CVS or whatever it was at the time, a Rite Aid, and they were still open. And I was able to fly in there and come out with some crazy brown dye. I don't even remember what it was, but I just thought anything to help her out. But so she had that, and then 12 years later, she was diagnosed with breast cancer in the other breast, and they did amputate that breast. And it's been now, I'd say 15 years later. And I just recently had a conversation with her, and the same question that you, or the same issue that you were touching on a little earlier about, why is this showing up in my body? Is it environmental? Is it people in my life? Is it, experiences in my life and her position in it? You can't blame anybody for something that's happening to you. You're always, it's a two-way street always. And so this is 15 years later, she's having this conversation with herself. So it's an ongoing process. I think once you've been diagnosed with something so intense, and it's something that could have taken your life away at that moment, uh, that's, yeah, I think that's an ongoing process from here on. So who knows what else you may be experiencing. um
Oh, no question. I mean,
no,
it's just a series of teachable moments, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And
You,
however authentic you want to be with it, because I think in her case, I think with her it was the fear of facing her own personal
mhm,
issues.
mhm,
And she finally translated it into, what does this have to do? What is my life experience? What do my life experiences have to do in connection with me having breast cancer in
mhm,
both my breasts? And
mhm.
yeah, you came up with it a lot quicker, because I don't know why, you just did. But but so yeah, so it's an ongoing process. I mean, who am I? I don't have the experience, but kind of what I've seen from girlfriends around me going through this.
Well, nor do we want you to have the experience, so we'd rather you, stay on that side
Right,
of the track.
right.
So let's
I
be
wasn't
clear.
planning on it. I did have,
There you go.
oh my God, I must share this with you quickly. I went to, here in the Netherlands, they invite you every 2 years for a breast cancer research. And they also do uh, a intestinal cancer research that you can partake in every 2 years. So for women, it's what, after you've turned 50, you get an invitation every 2 years. And as all women who've had a mammogram know, it fucking hurts. There's no there's just nobody, unless you're a sadist, I don't know, or a
Yeah, you have to
or
be a
you must be a
sadist. No, a
masochist.
masochist, no
Yeah,
question.
you must be a
You're right.
masochist if you
Unless you're
like that
into that
pain.
shit,
It
there's
is
nothing good.
unbearable.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do it the last time they invited me. I don't know, I was in a different frame of mind. I couldn't handle it. I just thought, I don't know. I know. So this time the letter came again, and uh so I thought, okay, fine. I'll make the phone call. I'll set an appointment. So I did. And it was this last Thursday, May 4th, and at 11:35. So I show up, I'm perfectly on time. And they have these trailers set up all over the country. These medical trailers are like, from the future. It's like all these that's, it's all these apparatuses and blah blah blah. It's all very fancy. So look, I come in there, okay, so are you really the person that you are? Yeah, I'm not here lying. I'm not like walking in off the street going, could you please give me a mammogram because I love this pain so much? Like, what is your phone number? Well, this is my phone. Yes, that's what it says here. Okay, so why the fuck did you just ask me for a phone number, bitch? Do you really think? Okay, so I'm being shown into the little room, and take off your top and blah blah, and this person on the other side will come and collect you. Okay, so here comes this older woman, a nurse who, yeah, this is what she does this all day.
Yeah.
And okay, so I stand there in front of the machine, and she takes my left breast first, and she lifts it up on the table, on this tray, and this glass
Yeah.
tray, and like measures, like, okay, so everything is like perfectly in place, blah blah blah. Okay, take a step back, okay, fine. Did you put body lotion on? Yeah. Yes, I did.
Get body lotion and deodorant
While she's
on.
touching my breasts. I mean, the timing is
You're
just
very
weird.
supple and soft.
It's just weird. She goes, as she's touching my breasts, did you put body, like, come on, lady. It's just weird. This is weird. It's just wrong. It's just all
Oh,
so
it's so wrong. It's so
Yes, I did
wrong.
put body lotion on. Yes, it feels greasy. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I know. Sorry. Okay, so fine. Okay, so now she takes my left boob first. Okay, flattens it. Ow. Okay, that one done. Takes the right boob. Bam, flattens it. Ow, again. Damn it. And I thought, and I just was like, I was walking away, like, okay, we're done, right? We did left, we did right. No, we're gonna do the diagonal view also. Fuck.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Good
Again.
old diagonal.
So she does the right one, the right breast first, and then, and it just, it's unbearable. And then she does the left breast. This is like the fourth time I'm being flattened, and it slipped out of my mouth, and I just said, God damn it, it hurts.
Yeah.
And she goes, we do not approve of that language in here.
Whoa.
Excuse me?
Whoa.
Excuse me? But Felicia, I was so in shock, and it hurt so badly that I held back my tears like a little child. I turned around, and I left the room, got back in my cubicle to change. Now I hear her talking to her colleague who comes out from somewhere behind, I don't know. Now I hear them talking about how I'm cursing and how they do not approve of that language in their workspace. Really? Now we're gonna like allow the church
I'm
in the
sorry,
room?
was that note on the outside of the door before you entered? Like, here are the rules,
No,
no swearing. Well, then you know
no.
what? No. And more importantly, shame on them for being so
But I mean,
unprofessional.
they're swearing. But I literally said the word, God damn it.
Yeah.
Who knows what you're going to say when something really hurts? It's not scripted. It's not like, you know what? When it hurts, she looks like a church-going mama. I think I'm just going to say, God damn it. No, it was not like that. But it was, what a weird, and I thought about it after I left. I went to a thrift store, and where I go more often, and it's just a great big mess, and the people there are great. The owners are wonderful, and I talked it over with them. I was like, what the fuck, man? I just went for a mammogram. And I talked to some other people about it, and everybody was very sweet, and they listened to me, and also thought it was just, it was uncalled for. But what do you do? Do I file a complaint, and then what? And then what?
No,
But
but you do, but talking it out, this goes back to what we are saying, and I didn't
uh,
mean to cut you out. Talking it out, having those conversations, making
talking it
people
out.
aware,
Yeah,
coming into your own reality, letting yourself know you weren't off base for having those feelings, being
yeah,
able to be fully self-expressed,
yeah,
again, speaking and being your truth. you know Little did, for instance, in relativity to this, but not about me, to use you as the example, but sharing my cancer journey, who knew that speaking up and being one's truth would turn into what would help get more clarity, more awareness, more reflection, more perspective, and cause and effect. Yours is the same situation. That's why it's so important to have these conversations, to have these connections, because
right.
you get to bring, that's a very important conversation to have.
It is. It's not only important to be heard, but it's also important to inform other people, make them
Yeah.
aware of next time when they go and
Yeah.
something like this happens, that maybe they can speak out and say, look, this is no, this go it this
And you should have felt safe to be able to, after the fact, say, "Hey, by the way, I not only know that whatever I said supposedly is not okay and kosher here, but when I'm getting changed and then I hear the two of you discussing it amongst yourselves,
yeah,
not only do I feel violated on multiple levels, it's
yeah,
enough for me to come in here and try to take care of my health and wellness, but now I'm being told to shut up over something that I'm having just a knee-jerk reaction to. I'm not trying to be offensive or offend
right,
anybody in my
right,
literal outbursts.
right, right,
But in top of which, then you're discussing in a manner where you're not in soundproof environment. And, you know, how does that make it better? And I'm not
right,
here to make you wrong. I'm here to say two wrongs don't make a right. And if that is a rule of thumb, then you need to make that clear before anybody enters these four walls, like
right,
all the things. Otherwise, we're all adults here, and
right,
I shouldn't feel
right.
this way. More
And I'm
importantly,
pretty sure that I was not the first woman to have her breast flattened and speak those words. I'm pretty sure there's many other words being spoken in that little cubicle. And plus, if, it's great that she goes to church and that's her religion of choice. And who am I to say you shouldn't? Please do whatever it is that you need to do, but don't lay it on me. If I say, God damn it, I don't have those feelings that you have. And okay, fine.
that should
And it's
also
not,
not be your takeaway from your mammogram experience.
no,
Somebody else put upon you their bullshit.
they're bullshit. Yeah, yeah. So
Full
it was,
circle.
but I was so of course, in hindsight, I could have said all these things, but it was like little Marie, like, send off. You just were a really, really bad girl. And on
And
top of
you
that,
weren't.
you physically hurt me too, on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you were none of those things. You weren't bad. You weren't wrong.
I
All those
wasn't,
things
but it
in
was
no.
it's just instantly, and those are those moments where, other people might say, you need to close yourself off for that. Well, too late. It was in. It was in. I couldn't close myself off. It was in. It was done. It was a done deal. She was in. She got to me. But yeah, thanks for the experience. And so yeah, not gonna happen again. Or
Well, it
maybe it
kind of,
will. I don't know.
well, no, hopefully it doesn't. But more importantly, it's no different than your experience. What you just shared is no different than my experience that I shared with you after our last conversation, which was the eating. It's kind of like, unexpectedly triggered in the little Marie and the little Felicia things that remind us of how we can still be affected, don't have to be, can be, and brings it to the forefront to give us the moments to say, okay, well, yeah, you can set all the boundaries you want. You, like you said, you didn't see that coming. I didn't see things coming. That doesn't make you wrong. What it makes you is now more aware. I love that you immediately start conversing with the thrift shop people and stuff because you knew you had to let go. Like,
I had to
am I like,
I had to. Yeah, I had to let it
you
out.
had to, and so good that you did because that was taking care of little Marie. Because
Yeah.
now little Marie can speak up for herself. Little Marie can say, hey, wait a minute, this just happened. It's not right, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Am I? Yeah, really? Was I? Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what I did, and I took care of that. I pondered, should I make a phone? Should I make a phone call? Should I write a letter? And I just thought, No, I'm not. I'm not. I should have done it in the moment. The moment's gone. I don't know if I can, no. But let this be a lesson for me and for everybody else who goes in after me. Um, do not let anybody talk to you that way. If you're, it's
Mm-mm,
not like I came in the trailer saying, God fucking damn bullshit
mm-mm,
crap. What am I doing here?
mm-mm,
Sucks. This is horrible. No, I
mm-mm.
didn't. I just said it as it was, yeah, it was painful.
Yeah. And they are there to serve a purpose, to be the guide, to do it safely, to get you through
Yeah.
safely.
I mean,
And all sh
a response, sorry, another response she could have had could have been, I'm so sorry, it hurts so much. Let me release the button and we're done. And,
yeah, yeah, that's it. And that's all that need to be said.
yeah,
That's all that need to be said. If she was personally offended in the moment, she could have kept that to herself too,
yeah,
just as
yeah,
much as she wanted you to keep it to yourself.
yeah, yeah.
It's all a learning. Again, it's all like these lessons that we're all being taught. And um I just think some of us go through the life going, oh, we're aware that it's a series of life lessons. Others are just like here, just kicking it up, not realizing that they're a cause and effect, that it's a series of life lessons.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
those are
engaged.
it's a choice,
Yeah,
it's a constantly we're constantly presented with a choice. Is this my reaction? Is that my reaction? And that was her reaction, and my reaction was to walk away with tears in my eyes going, what the fuck? Jesus Christ.
yeah, which I'm really sorry. I'm sorry
Yeah,
that
no,
that
yeah,
had
thank
that
you.
effect on you.
Yeah,
Say that.
yeah, yeah.
Well, it's interesting too that you brought it up because in the States, they just lowered the age to 40 from 50 to
Oh,
start getting breast cancer check. I think when I first got it, I was 40 because I think that that was the age it was, but I don't remember. I really, really don't. I could be so off base. But I do think it's interesting. I think it's also super important, but I also think it's one of the most barbaric ways of doing those kind of examinations.
oh
There's
yeah,
got
if
it. I
there
mean,
had
I
to be
think
two
honestly,
testicles,
I think if a man's penis was
yeah,
put in something like that, that shit would have stopped a long time ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I
So
can't imagine.
yeah, I think echoes or, yeah, there's other ways of doing it, but um it costs too much money.
Right, right.
So
Well,
this is it. There's the gardener. Hi, gardener.
you can't hear because I have my AirPods in. That's hysterical. Oh my God. Gardner was trying to tell me he's taking the dogs for a walk and running
Uh,
an errand or two.
are you gonna go? Are
Um,
you gonna go too?
no, I'm gonna hang out. Um, but well, actually, I might be able to go depending on. But I loved our conversation. I think this was a really great um, conclusion to this time and moments.
Yeah, I love
And
you.
I love you. I love you very much, and thank you so much once again. Isn't it amazing what you have no idea you're going to hear from somebody's journey potentially? It's quite fascinating. I certainly know going through it, it was a lot of things I certainly didn't expect. I love that Marie asked if she could have this interview with me, and it turned into these 4 parts over a period of 2 sittings, and just really special, and appreciate their ability to always connect with laughter and authenticity, and first and foremost, our hearts and love and respect for one another. Join me next week. It's going to continue to get juicy with lots of more great conversations coming up. So join us on the Can't Be Uncensored podcast. Join, subscribe, share, where the spirits are young, the souls are wise, and the life experiences are vast. And boy, are they vast, and they just continue. So much love. Bye for now.